which is available online. Go to the website listed on, where did he put his website on this thing? Did he really not put his website in here? The Tonka artist who did this for me is really bad, a wonderful artist and a really bad self-promoter. So he's managed to do this without his website. So I'm going to pass it around with a picture of number 4, Karma Garadi, on the bottom of which is his website, which you can write down if you want a copy of this. Tarpon. That's why he's a starving artist. Why I'm not giving these out or letting you copy it. He's expensive. What's that in dollars? About 15? That's not bad. Most people can scare that up because it's really nicely done. Come on, stuff. The old fumbling you need first thing in the morning. Why do my texts hide from me? Not fair. Chuku kunduzong bogomboye, dorji sambagarab dorji dang. Shere senge bardo shin labdi, dedam nazan tatatusum chi. Zog chenjupe lamala solwa de. Ergim pema junela solwa de. Dorji chang chitelo narudang. Marpamila gompo tatapa, na pupadang paldan drupa suk, kagulama namla solua de, o chen lama namla solua de, shak chen lama namla solua de, druid chen lama namla solua deb nyandu dang lama namla solua deb falcon du jong dang yerme pa gon garab dorji jin trag pa jeti dang ni sume pa i pa lama nam chitende chong. Ganjin mela tempa lun la nat so guang chuk chuna jung poro lang drema dang no jin sok ki dung ne toma. Homage to you, praised by Indra. Agna, Brahmi, Marutis, and Siva. All the Bhutas, Vitalas, Gandhavas, Ganakas, Yaksas, and them all pay tribute to you. This is Tara, who is victorious over the three worlds. All of those that are named there are different kinds of sentient beings who are more powerful, you might say better than, and less than us. This includes things like gods and demons and different kinds of ETs, other where beings that inhabit the universe, some of which with higher tech or magic, and some of which with lesser or different tech and magic. Tara pervades the universe. Everywhere, every when. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture. Shatrung Autsa Traya Soha. Tara 7. Homage to you who with Tra and Pe crush the enemies, yantras to dust. Yantras are patterns, so the patterns of your enemies. Your enemies can be internal or external. With right leg bent and left leg extended, you stand radiant amidst a mass of blazing fire. Chagsal chela dang pei parol tul korabtu jomai kumyon ko kyang shat kene me bar trupa shintu barma. She is black with reddish overtones, blazing, standing in a ring of fire. She destroys hexes and bad spells, both your own and others. I talked to you earlier yesterday about how you cast nasty spells on yourself. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Do that enough and guess what? You will truly believe you're an idiot and so act like one. Oops, bad spell. Well, then we're on 7, yeah. Can you hear me? So she's powerful with that. Spells are patterns. black magic are negative patterns. You can see it as somebody outside of you is throwing a whammy on you. That doesn't happen so often around here. You get that more down in New Orleans. However, we make up for it by throwing more whammies on ourselves up here. Same difference, same effect. Whatever negative pattern you are caught in, she destroys it. I don't think this is working. Can y'all hear me anyway? Do you think it's recording anyway? Okay. Yeah, sometimes energies do funny things to mics. Jagsalture jikpachembo doke pao namparjoma sukeshane tronerdenze dro tamche malusoma. Homage to you, Tara, the most terrible lady. Got 8 yet? Somebody put up 8. There we go. Destroyer of even the most powerful demons. With a lotus face and a deeply frowning brow. You are the slayer of each and every foe. This is the giver of supreme power. Om Tare Tu Tare Turi. Sejimo Marai Ape Soha. She unravels the knots in your nadis. Your nadis, your energy channels. Your energy channels is where you have your hang-ups, your pagchas. Do you remember me talking about pagchas? Okay, so those are the cricks in your nadis. They are... You can feel them. When you do different practices, sometimes you always get a cramp here, or you get a headache back here. These are all cricks in your nadis. This one is particularly good for unraveling those. Those often will manifest as pain, physical pain. If you push on them and they stay there as a physical pain and a clench in the nadis long enough, they can create a tumor. So it's really important to be able to soothe those out. They can create a tumor, or first they create a mass of phlegm. It can be a benign tumor. It doesn't have to be a cancer. But they create little masses, lumps. So we're talking about chi stagnation, which leads to blood stagnation, which leads to the formation of a clog or phlegm. Coronary artery disease is that. Heart attacks are caused by that. Strokes are caused by that. Therefore, cleaning out your channels is really a valuable thing to do. Chagtsal kunchak sumso chagne sormo tukar namparjema malil chokki korlo jimbe rangeo kitsoknam trukma. Homage to you whose fingers adorn your heart and display the mudra of the three jewels. You who grace all points of bearings of the compass, all directions, and overwhelm all with your intense self-radiance. This is Tara, the supreme giver of generosity. She protects with her adamantine openness. Something which is adamantinely open is something which cannot be harmed. Therefore, utter protection. She is the union of emptiness and form. Tu ta om tare tu tare ture. Two forms of the mantra. I'm giving you the long one. Chegemo upakarma raksha. Raksha Soha. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture. Upa Karma Raksha Raksha Soha. Two forms. Longer with her name in it, or a form of her name, and shorter with just the essence of the mantra. She is actually considered a form of ekazati. She is rejoicing in the dance of enlightenment. You see her hands above her head rejoicing. This rejoicing in the dance of enlightenment, all samsara is the dance of enlightenment. We call it, the practice of recognizing that is called Trultra Naljor, practice of the dancing stillness. When one sees the nature of form as emptiness and the nature of emptiness as form, one perceives all phenomena as the dance of the infinite luminous creativity of the Dharmakaya. So this is the Tara who symbolizes that. The dance of all phenomena as enlightenment, the dance of all living beings in their vitality, as the dance of all Buddhas, of the 4 times becoming Buddhas of the 4 times. Without the divisions of our time-space continuum beyond that, in isness, there's no division. That is her symbol. And number 10, if you'd flip me. Chagsarabdu gewajipe erginoki changwarpema shakperabshi tutarai dudangjik ten wang du zima. Homage to you, supreme joyous, with your splendorous crown and garlands. Mirthful Tutara, laughing and smiling, subduer of the realms of demons. Om Tare Tutare Ture. Sarva Mara Mardani Soha. She is the joy of the dance of form and emptiness. She is the playfulness of the universe, the playfulness of Tara. She defeats stress with enthusiasm. Some people like to travel. They are enthusiastic about going to new places. Some people hate to travel. They find it stressful. The travel isn't different. How the people feel about it is different. She transforms stressful situations using the mental pattern of enthusiasm into fun challenges. Can you see how that could happen in your own life? So when you're stressed out by the fun challenge occurring, because you don't see the fun in the challenge, she's the one you call on. IRS audit. Fun challenge. Stressful occurrence. Suppose you knew you were dreaming, and you dreamed there was an IRS audit, and you knew it was a dream so you could play with it. Have fun with the guys who wanted to interview you. How would you feel in the dream? Different, huh? So when you hit stress, use her. Call on her. Become her. Switch me to 11. Sasashi Kongwe Tsoknam Amchegukpar Nupanima Ranyeryoe Igi Hungi Nungbatamchi Nampardrolma. This is Tara who removes poverty. Pong Selma. Om Tare Tu Tare Turi.
Om Tare Tu Tare Turi.
Vasu Darini Soha.
Vasu Darini Soha.
She's also called Naked Tara. She's fierce. She's black in color. This is awareness as the ground of both samsara and nirvana. Poverty is a state of mind. Sometimes you ever see somebody who has everything and they suffer poverty? You ever see somebody who has nothing and they don't suffer poverty? It's a state of mind. She is naked Tara because of a story. Once there was a monk and he had nothing. And he lived in a little shack. He didn't even have a tonka for his altar. So he painted a picture of Tara on the wall. And it was one of the fierce Taras, a black Tara, but she was fully clothed and bejeweled. And one day a woman came and knocked on him. She was trying to collect enough money so her daughter could get married. And he didn't have anything to give her. He barely had a pot to pee in. So he said, just wait a minute. And he went inside and he did ceremony, monlam, with Tara and asked Tara to help her, looking at the painting that he had made with charcoal, so that's why it was black. It wasn't green Tara. It was that he didn't have green paint, but he had charcoal from his fire for cooking. So this charcoal of drawing on the wall turned into Tara and got off the wall and stripped and handed him all her jewels and clothes and went back on the wall naked. And he took those jewels outside and gave them to the woman so her daughter could get married. And the miraculous painting of a naked Tara remained on his wall. And people came to worship it, and it became a temple. This little hovel, preserving the original wall and the original charcoal Tara, who was now naked. So that's how she arose. She is the essence of generosity in all its fierceness, because generosity is not smarmy and smiling at all times. Sometimes it can be intense. So intense it cuts through everything. She's actually super black with a red radiance. The stone colors, it's really hard to get a good black in stone colors, and he works with the old style colors. So that's his black. Switch me to 12. Chaksaldawi Dumbogyan Gyan patamche shintu barma ral patrone okmele tokpar shintu orabdema. Homage to you so brightly adorned. On your crown, say after me, yeah, I'll wait for you. On your crown, a glorious sliver of moon. Your locks always graced by Amitabha, whose light rays gleam forth forever. She makes things auspicious. No, that you don't have to say. Om tare tutare ture. Mangala soha. God, I realize I know more Sanskrit words than I thought I did. Blessings upon it all, soha, so be it. She is the essence of the vitality of the universe, Amitabha. She is the bright light by which the seer sees, the awareness which pervades all life. It is as all life in the universe that you are able to see simultaneously emptiness and phenomena. As long as you identify with a motive phenomena, a little motive phenomena that goes by your name, you can't see emptiness and phenomena at the same time. You need to identify yourself with and as the infinite vitality of the universe, the seer of all that is seen, the vitality, the aliveness, the light of Amitabha. As that, it is easy to recognize the empty nature of phenomena and the phenomenal nature of emptiness. So it's a shift of perspective is required to stabilize Dzogchen. She is about that shift of perspective. These taras in order, and there's a whole set of Tsalung practices that goes with these that I am not teaching today because you are not Tsalung yogis and you haven't done all the preliminaries of clearing your channels yet. But the whole thing, this goes from the very beginning of I'm going to lend you a hand with your problems all the way through to the culmination of absolute enlightenment with the different stages of awareness, with each Tara personifying a stage of awareness of the path. That's why the recitation of this manlam is so powerful. Each time you're going from where you stand as a confused, fucked up sentient being to an absolute Buddha, step by step by step. This is the step of shifting your perspective from being a single mote occupying a single point in the time-space continuum to being the innate and infinite vitality of all and everything. Number 12. Shift me 13? No, that was 12. Shift me to 13. You're right. In my copious spare time, someday I will get this entire text with all its old scritchy notes onto one piece of paper for ease of teaching it. In my copious free time, when I'm not answering your emails. Taksal kalpa tamene tar barwe trangwa unema ye kyang yong kung kune korge drea pungne nampar joma. Om tare tu tare ture. Bahe basim kuru soha. Homage to you who appears in a blazing halo of all-consuming apocalyptic flames, of the flames that consume all phenomenon at the end of the universe. Immersed in joy, crushing legions of enemies. The legends. Do you have ever seen those statues of Shiva dancing in the flames that end the universe? This is that, but in the form of Tara dancing in those flames. She's fierce. She's red, surrounding by the flames that generate the light that create the life. Death and renewal. Destruction and creation. She also releases the subtle knots in the channels. In specific, she destroys the chi of duality, the misperception that you are separate from your environment, the disassociation that accompanies all experiences so that you have them instead of are them, that accompanies all thoughts so that you have thoughts instead of you are thoughts, all feelings so that you have feelings instead of are feelings, all perception so that you possess perception instead of are perception. Those are the last knots of chi, the essence of duality. And those are what she purifies. 14, flip me. There you go. She is fierceness, the utter adamantine fierceness. Chaksa sashi ngola chaki tige nunchang shabke dongma chongye chenze hongi yigi hongi rimpa dumpo namni gema. Homage to you who on the ground of the earth, striking your palms, stamping your feet, the hong formed by your furrowed brow, smashing the 7 netherworlds to dust. Om Tare Tutare Turi Benza Maha Pate Basim Kuru Soha. Nothing left to stand on. You know that old saying by Trungpa Rinpoche? I got good news for you and bad news for you. The bad news is yes, you have decided to practice Dharma. You've stepped off a cliff. That's the bad news. The good news is there's no bottom to hit when you continue to fall. She shakes the ground you stand on. Earth element, element of form, destruction. Destruction is creation. We got that in the last one. So she destroys and creates all element of form. You have nothing to cling to that releases any dregs of clinging you might have. You might want to be grabbing onto the edge of the cliff. There's no edge. You're falling. Or you're flying, depends on your perspective as to whether you're going whee or eek. When you find yourself with no ground to stand on, chin up, tits to the wind. Choose flying rather than scrabbling to renew a ground. Go to 15. Chaksal dema gema shima nyen gendishi choyulnima soha omdang yang dak demba dik Pachimpo Jomanima. Stay. Om tare, tutare, ture. Sarawapapam parsha manaya soha. This is Tara of the supreme peacefulness. This is the four joys that result of Tsalong, the four passions as peace. This is the purification of the mandala of the Dhyani Buddhas from the five poisons into the five wisdoms, where fear and anger become mirror-like wisdom, where, go around in a circle, where that hole, you know your hole that you never have enough of? There's something in your life you can't get enough of. With me, it's surface area. No matter what I do, no matter how much you give me, I will fill all surfaces with what I'm using right now and not have anywhere to put something down and have to hold it in my hand. What's yours? Love, money, respect, status, sex, chocolate. Everybody's got a hole somewhere. Mine used to be time until I figured out how to rest between the moments. So I replaced it with surface areas. It's part of being a sentient being, I guess. You got a hole. Your hole will transform into the wish-fulfilling jewel with the work of this Tara. Your desire and your loneliness, lust and loneliness, the urge to merge with another, manifests mostly as lust in your teen years, and then later on as the urge to marry and create a unit with somebody, not to be alone, transforms into bodhisattva so that it doesn't get all tangled up in hopes and fears like, does he love me or does he not? Is he cheating on me or is he not? Is this enough or do I want more? See what happens to your merging when you pick a person? It gets confusing. When you pick all life, there is utter satisfaction of bodhisattva. The emotion of competitiveness. You walk into a room and try to figure out if you're the fattest person in there or not. And if you aren't, you're happy. Or the youngest, or the prettiest, or the best dressed, or the wisest. Status, competitiveness, strength, transforms into pure competence. And then there's depression, sloth, sludge, which transforms into spaciousness by this Tara. Om tare, tu tare, ture, sarva papam, pashamanaya soha. Powerful, yes? This is the transformation of the five poisons into the five wisdoms, of all emotion and passion into clarity. Now, 16.
Salkuni korabgewa jailuni rabtugema yege chupe nagne kope rigpahangle dromanima. This is Tara who overcomes attachments. Om Tare Tutare Ture. Sarva Dharma Prati Pare Shodaya Soha. She arises the 5 pure winds. She stops the compulsive action of creating karma. That compulsion is not only in you, it's in your mandala. There is constant compulsive activity in you. You're always thinking, feeling, doing something. And around you, everybody else is too. Those are winds that are purified by this Tara so that you can actually rest. You can actually not do. The final practices are not done. They simply are. This is the not doing of non-meditation. The hump that the outer body Rushen gets you over. This is the Tara who gets you over that hump. The outer body Rushen is a secret 11-day retreat, which is particularly for the purpose, it's for Dzogchen practitioners only, and it's particularly for the purpose of getting you over the hump between doing and not doing. Where you're stuck, where all your meditation is something you do and you can't just have it do you and not do and just be. You have to do it, or you have to not do it. And you can't not do. There's a 11 or 33-day retreat that will knock you into not doing. Or you can just work with this Tara who does the same thing and is a lot easier than that retreat, which is one of the hardest ones that I ever take people through. If any of you are long-term Dzogchen practitioners, you might and are stuck in that particular place. I do it every 3 or 4 years with people. I'm doing it this summer in Poland. I've done it in South America, I've done it in North America, and I'm going to do it in Europe. There's a retreat center that has the proper facilities for it and is quite inexpensive. What? Not telling unless you're on the retreat. It's a closed retreat and considered quite secret. Can't even tell you what you do in the retreat until you're there. So it's not for everybody. But there may be a few of you here who are ready to try that, and if so, contact me by email. We'll talk. We're on 17 now, if you'd flip me. Jagsalturi Chabnidape Honge Nampe Saponima Rigpa Mendra Dangbikiji Jigtin Sumnam Yoanima. This is Tara who accomplishes the supreme joy, the doer of the activities of joy. Om Tare Tutare Ture. Sarva Satambane Tare Soha. This is the Tara who shakes all the winds into the central channel. She is pure enthusiasm of Dzogchen. She exists only in this now. She is the Hung of awareness without reference points. There is no time other than now. You think there will be a future and you have plans for it. Those plans are made of thoughts. They never happened. You have memories of what you think is the past, and you think it really happened the way you remember it. Those are thoughts. All thoughts without exception have no substance or duration. They exist only in the moment of now. There is no other moment. And now contains thoughts which are memories and thoughts which are plans. There is only now. This is the Tara of the realization of here and now. I believe the Western meditation called mindfulness is somewhat akin to trying to get you to think you're in the here and now on purpose. This is the Tara who is the here and now, not on purpose. When you're trying to be here and now, you're not actually here and now. You're too busy trying to be here and now, so you miss what's going on. This is the automatic and innate Tara of the here and now. 18. Chaksalai tohinampe redaktakchen chaknanama tarani jope kiyigi duknamalu parni selma. This translation of poison is actually meaning suffering. Om Tare Tu Tare Sarva Satambani Tare Soha. She is a cool white. She is the protector of innocence, of children. She is the melting, releasing of the white drop of Tigli, which is the essence of Bodhisattva. So she is the radiance of loving kindness. This is the vitality that fills everything. She is the creativity of the Nirmanakaya. Question? I can. Oh, did I just say you're 17 again? Oopsie, thank you for catching me. I work more with the long prayer than the mantras, but I want you to have the individual mantras in case there is one of these that you need to work with in a given moment, so that you can. This afternoon, we're going to go over how to do that. Om Tare Tutare Ture. Naga Visha Shanting Kuru Soha. Can you feel 18? The release of the innate creativity of Bodhisattva, the Pawo, the Daka, the dance of the Daka, the dance of the hero. $19. Who's got the book that I'm passing around? Okay, as long as it's still around somewhere. Tagsalai Toknam Yalpa Ladang Mi Chitanma Kune Gocha Gewe Jiki Tsodang Milam Yempa Selma. Om Tare Tutare Ture. Motsana Soha. Homage to you who hold in your... Nope, wrong one. Homage, sovereign of hosts divine, willingly served by the gods and heroes, immersed in joy, absorbed in bliss. You clear away nightmares and soothe strife. Understanding all phenomena to be dreamlike at this stage in practice. All negative experiences are nightmares. When you have a nightmare at night in your dreaming dream, and you turn around and look at it, usually it turns into something funny. As an on-repeating nightmare I once had where something chased me, and I could hear its footfalls or its heartbeat going thump, thump, thump. And it would always seem to be right behind me, and I could never turn around. And one day I turned around, and it was a mariachi band with a big bass drum keeping rhythm, thump, 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 thump. And who's scared of mariachi bands? So, nightmares, whether they happen in what appears to be an external reality or happen in a dream, are cleared by this aspect. Where nightmares come from is chi caught in the side channels. She is the ruler of awareness's attention. Your attention follows your chi. Your chi follows your attention. They're interwoven. You can't say which is the cart, which is the horse. So the central channel rules the attention. And in meditation, the tool you're using is your attention. It's all about what you pay attention to. So she brings your attention to the point that is the entire vastness of all that is and all that is not. The single point of attention which contains all points, which is not a point of attention. The infinite open awareness of the central channel which encompasses the whole universe. And in this way, the manifestations of suffering are released. Do you feel her? 19. The release of the nightmares arise by chi squeaking in the side channels, which is what all negative, frightening experiences are, just a squeak. I'm not telling you how to do the tsalung, but a little bit of how it works so that you can feel it as you sing the prayer, as we progress through the stages of tsalung, the stages of dzogchen, the stages of Keirim. By the doing of this, I don't think I know a Tibetan who does not recite this every day as part of their daily prayers, because it's so damn effective. Number 20, flip me. Chatsanima dawagepe chenni pola orabsalma taranye jotu tarai chindurak porim ne selma. Homage to you whose eyes shine lustrously, bright with the fullness of sun and moon, to Tara with thrice uttered hara. You pacify the terrible recurrent fevers. Om Tare Tutare Turi Visarati Soha. The recurrent fevers are the recurrent delusory states that re-arise with how to put this? She is the golden light of meditation, which brings awareness to each and every here and now in a dynamic rather than static way. This allows the sensations of the six sense organs, the innate and natural activity of mind as thought and emotion, to arise in the now as the now without any separation between the feeler, thinker, perceiver, and the feeling, thinking, perceiving. So that the dance of phenomena is not blocked or rejected, but manifests is its innate true nature, which is the dance of the creativity, of the vitality of open awareness. And so, without grasping the last grip on nirvana, or rejecting the last fear, samsara. One is free in the dance of the arisings again and again, without grasping or rejection. Can you feel number 20? The equanimity of being able to think, feel, and perceive without minding that you're thinking, feeling, and perceiving. The release of the zone out of Shine. The release of the bliss state. The release of anything whatsoever you have acquired in your practice. This is the koan: if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him quickly. This is the koan: if you think you're enlightened, you're having an oops. If you think you're not enlightened, you're having the same oops. You're thinking your thought is real. This is the final letting go of nirvana. (21), which is the culmination of the taras. Taksel denye sumnam kope shiwe tudang yang dak denma dondang rolan no jin sognam jompar ture rabjok nima. This is Tara of the completion of Dzogchen, where there is nothing to be done and no one to do it. Om Tare Tutare Ture Sarva Siddhi Sadanam Soha. This is not understandable, for it transcends understanding, misunderstanding, not understanding, beyond all doings and all doers. Therefore, I'm not going to ask you if you understand it. You can't. The answer is not yes, nor is it no, beyond the dualities of yeses and nos. Questions on any of these specific ones?
Could you talk more about, I can't remember if it was 3 or what the autumn moon,
The what?
the autumn moon.
Tara of the Autumn Moon, yes. I think she's 2. Depending on how you count it. So Tara of the Autumn Moon. The moon is the symbol of the male channel, not female as it is in Western. Can you flip back to my number 2, Moonlight White Tara? Yes, good. The moon is Bodhisattva, the white of the semen and the tigli, the creativity and the dance of the Pawo. Pawo is a daka, same as a dakini, but male. And they dance a little differently. They're a symbol, not a people. Later on, one of the later Taras, you came to the balance of the masculine and feminine energies within you, where the duality of the 2 side channels no longer occurs. But she is specifically the dance of Bodhisattva. Her image is beautiful. She's white, but she's got all these little diamond rainbow sparklies all over her, which you can't paint, but you can visualize. So she's covered with little sparkles like a diamond. She's the beautiful brightness of the brightest full moon of the year, which is usually in the crisp air of autumn. She has 12 arms and a peaceful aspect. The white ones, all of the white taras, they liberate by peaceful means. They pacify, they soften disturbing attitudes. Sometimes she's seen as standing, sometimes sitting. Her pants are the color of rainbows. She's particularly useful for infectious diseases, contagious diseases, which are a kind of glitch. In order for you to catch a contagious disease, you need to be exposed at a time that your immune system cannot fight it. So you're either a little run down. You notice how when you're run down, you get colds? You're always exposed to head colds. They're everywhere. But normally your immune system can fight off most of them. When your immune system is not doing so well because you are overtired, not eating right, overstressed, you catch a cold. So she is a protector of the immune systems and also an aspect of Saraswati, who is the patron of the arts. So she's an artist's Tara. She holds a water jug in one of her hands, which is about good governance, wisdom, wise decisions. She's got 12 arms and she's got a different thing in each hand. And each thing symbolizes one of the aspect of the hero's path of doing of Bodhisattva. And one of those aspects is going to be good decisions, wise decisions for whatever you're in charge of. So if you have a dog, a pet, you make the right decision when to take them to the vet and when to try a home remedy because they puked on the carpet. Because everyone is responsible, most people are responsible for some group decisions. It makes them be wise. That's the water jug she holds. Let me take the picture that I can see because I'm just nearsighted enough. Oh, come here, pictures. You should be here. There you go, Autumn Moon Tara. So I'm going to go down the left with what she holds. She's got a garland of flowers. That is the mala of flowers. Flowers stand for the generative force, birth and death, destruction, creation. Flowers are buds. They bloom. They wilt into their seed pod. She holds a dorji, which is unshakable, adamantine, indestructible. She holds a flaming jewel, which is the wish-fulfilling jewel. The power to give each and every being whatever it thinks it wants. She holds the wheel of Dharma. She holds a Katvanga, which is the union of emptiness and method. And she sits in meditation. She holds a book, which is all knowledge. A water pot, which I talked about. A bell, which is Together with the Dorji, female aspect of wisdom, holding wisdom. She holds a flower which is beauty and artistic. And she holds a treasure vase, which is all wealth. She has 3 heads looking in the 3 directions. But it's all one direction because the 3 heads don't have 3 brains. They're all one person. And the 3 directions are infinite, open vastness of innate clear light awareness, manifesting as creativity, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. She's all 3 together. On her crown, the central jewel is the red ruby of Amitabha, light beyond compare. Often she stands and somewhat resembles the 1,000-armed Chenrezig. And there's a story about her and Chenrezig. So one time, when Chenrezig went to the Hell Realms, 4-armed Chenrezig, he went down to the Hell Realms with a vow to defeat all sentient being, to defeat all suffering, to empty the hells of living beings. And he labored long and long. And with all this labor, he finally succeeded. Hell was empty. And he leaned back on a rock to rest and wipe his brow, and looked up from his labors, and there in the sky, falling like snow, like a blizzard of snow, were multitudes of sentient beings falling back into hell due to errors of perception they were making. Perceiving something as an enemy and so slaying it, and so reaping the karma and falling there. And it broke him. He flung himself upon the rocks in despair and shattered into 1,000 pieces. And in his despair, Tara came to him. This form. Reached out a hand and said, "It's okay, brother. I'll help you. You're not in this all by yourself." And the knowledge that he wasn't alone allowed him to heal and re-arise as the 1,000-armed Chenrezig, reflecting her, but in his own way. Pretty story, isn't it? All the archetypes are intertwined, interactive, and part of your own mind. They're not outside of you. They're not inside of you. They are you in your many aspects. Enough information to play with? Yes.
Is there a semi-graphical version of
I don't speak Sanskrit. Let's see, who would that be? It's red, isn't it?
Exactly like this is semi-graphical basis.
It may not be in this group. You have to realize that Tara arises infinitely. In infinite forms. That's full wrathful. Four arms. Two arms. Not enough arms. Only 6 arms. Can you pass him the book? Flip through. Who's got the book? Flip through and see if you see the one that you're talking about. I don't remember one who has exactly the same things that's semi-wrathful, but you have to understand, in the Surya Gupta lineage, there isn't the standard white Tara either. She's a separate. And this may be a standalone given as a separate rather than in this particular Song of the 21. This is not all the Taras there ever was and will be. Yes?
What are you giving go for number 7?
Number 7, let's go find it. Six, 7. For the prayer? For the mantra on 7. See, this text has different mantras from Nyingma lineage. What I'm giving you is mantras from Shakya lineage, which is why we're doing some flipping through. Because the book I have is Shakya lineage. The images I was able to get. Yes, that's going to be sent out eventually. So the mantra for number 7. Om Tare Tutare Ture. Sarva Burzor. Bepyo Soha. There's your mantra. Yes. Number 9. She is peaceful and fierce together. She is rejoicing. Her light dispels arrogance. She is considered an aspect of her protectors. Keeps you from getting too full of yourself to go any further. In her hands, she holds a Dorjian bell, even balance of yin and yang channels. She rejoices with the gesture of joy on top of her head. She's snapping her fingers in a dancing movement. And in her other hand, she holds a branch of the, they say, I've got it as Ashoka. It's not. It's that thorny tree with the yellow flowers, acacia. Somebody translated as that as Ashoka, and that's not correct. Which reigns with the branch of the acacia tree, she waves it, and jewels come forth and rain onto beings to keep them from suffering poverty. She is the joy of playfulness which will protect you from all harm. The protectors, Ekazati and Osel Chenma, are not serious. They have one hell of a sense of humor. You're the joke. Do not think that fierceness equates lack of peace. Humor and joy can be just as fierce, if not more so. Wrathful is a wrong translation. These are not wrathful deities, they're fierce archetypes. Don't talk about any of the fierce archetypes as wrathful deities, because that means the wrong thing. They are not full of wrath. They're just fierce, like a mama bear with cubs. Don't poke them. Be polite. And they're not deities because they don't exist independently. They are personifications of the life force of all life. They live in what you Westerners call universal unconscious, which is not inside of you, nor is it outside of you. Yes.
This says you're graced by wheels that warning every direction. I don't know.
Chakras. Her chakras have expanded to adorn every direction. What could they have? Yeah, they probably translated chakra. That's on here? Okay. The translators who did this is good. We are looking at 910. I'm looking for wheels. You're graced by wheels adorning every direction. Malutuki korlo, jempe. Korlo is wheel, but it is also the word used for chakra. So what we're talking about here is the way that your chakras expand to include all phenomena. This is where you perceive the mandala as not outside or inside specifically. This is, you know, when you do the mandala of Saji Puki Jukshing Mitog Tram, Rirabling Nide Gyanpadi, and this mountain in the middle is your spinal cord, and the sun and the moon are your eyes, and the ground and strewn with flowers is your flesh, and you are offering yourself, but also the mountain is the axis about which the world turns, and the four continents are the four major land masses, and the sun and the moon are your eyes. But also, the pivot, the central mountain is the pivot about which the galaxy swirls. And the four limbs, the four continents, are the four divisions of the two, are the double divisions of the two spiral arms. But also the mountain in the middle is the linear still point around which the local group evolves, and the four continents are the four clumps of galaxies that make up the local group. But also the mountain is the greater still point about which many local groups orbit in four groups of local groups, and so on, ad infinitum down to the molecular and atomic level. And it's also a flat earth with a mountain in the middle and four continents. And nothing deletes anything else, because it's made a thought. And you can think both at the same time with no trouble at all. Try it. Yes?
I really do more about number 10, the noble lady guitar that eats stress by turning it into enthusiasm.
Ah, yes, she's lovely. Let me flip to her. Okay, where are you, number 10? I think you might be here. Yes. Yeah, I really like her too. Hundruptashi is another name for her, which means spontaneously arisen bliss. She has a fearless, bellowing laugh with no withhold. Ha ha, hey, hey, ho ho. You know how you titter when you want to laugh because you're withholding yourself? Because you're scared of what people will see, so it comes out as a titter or a giggle? Yeah, well, hers doesn't. She is the essence of all playfulness. The playfulness of the universe, the playfulness of creativity. She holds her hands in the rejoicing on the top of her head. She holds the branch of a acacia tree. But this one is unusual in that the blossoms are reddish. Even though, do we have her up? Yes, even though she is red in color. Yes, and she's also got the blazing sword, which is wisdom. Even though she is red in color, she is of the northern direction, utter competence, which only comes with humor. You know when you're stressed, everything you try to do doesn't work because you keep missing little pieces? I had someone looking after me in one of the places I visited, and they were so stressed by the fact that they were the one who was, which I can take this off. Oh, thank you. It bothers my ear. They were so stressed by the fact that they were looking after me. They kept forgetting everything and leaving everything everywhere. Whereas if they had seen it as something playful and fun instead of stressful, it would have been much easier for them to remember what they were doing while they were doing it. You ever have that experience where you're so stressed out you can't do anything? Which is why she is the essence of competence. She cheers you up when you're in a bad mood, when something bad is happening. Death is the biggest joke of the universe. The second biggest joke of the universe. The biggest joke is enlightenment. Death is the biggest joke because you are unborn, undying. And yet fear the momentary transitions, which are the nature of phenomena. Enlightenment is the biggest joke because you strive for it all your life to simply discover that it was always right there and you finally stopped fighting it. Do you feel number 10? Each of these taras is a feeling as much as they are a thought. The singing of the Monlam is a mnemonic to bring forth the feelings which will change your perceptions. Although normally we have a sensation of our sense organs, which we label, turning it into a perception, and then tell ourselves a story about it with thought, and then have feelings about the story. That's the way we often do it. But in Monlam, we're working backwards. We're making a sound and singing something and hearing it. So we're having a sensory perception, which leads to a feeling, which leads to changing your stories that you tell yourself into much better ones than the ones you usually make up, and therefore changes your reality. Because your reality is made of the stories you tell yourself. This particular Tara makes it funny. Because it's always better to tell funny stories. I met a woman in the airport yesterday, day before yesterday. Yeah, all the flights were canceled. The airport was a mess. Everybody was stressed out. And there was this poor girl. Oh, I think she must have been all of 19, trying to get home. Flight canceled, didn't know what to do, all stressed. We were talking somewhere, and I said, look, imagine what a great story this is going to be in about a week to tell over a beer. So start working on the story now. How it's going to be a funny story about the time your flight got canceled in Chicago. Look at all the funny people. Look at all the funny things around. Start working on the story so that you can dine out over beer with it for a while and somebody else will buy the round. And she went off quite happily, unstressed by that. Having something to do other than fret, while she went and stood in line to get a different flight out and fix the problem. It's just a little change of perspective. Nothing actually changed outside of her. I managed to convince her to perceive it differently so she could stop shaking. That's what this Tara will do for you. Question?
My boat capsized like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Everything permanently, everything was lost. And I knew that it would be funny at some point. Of course, in that moment, it was, you're watching your belongings, your IT, your phone, your...
Had that happen to me once, I do understand.
And it's like I was grasping to catch it, well, as it was going down into the murky water, it was all metaphoric. So, but I knew, I kind of had the sense that it was, and, within 24 hours, just as you're speaking to, it became this...
Wonderful story.
Yeah, it was very detailed, the dog and the wet clothes and the...
Hey, at least you didn't have to ditch your clothes to swim in through the surf.
I did.
Oh, you did? You washed up stark naked once too. Isn't that fun?
Yes, I was saving my partner who was freaked out.
Cool.
So my question before you brought that story back up was, do you do vignettes?
I do not often do them. Sometimes, together with the yogis, we do them every year around Losar. A string of them, and I sometimes do them then.
I just wonder if I can do it here.
I don't usually do it here. There's a few lamas around who love those so much. They are. Scrub brush on your central channel. But you got to do the right food with it. People in the West sometimes do nunye, which is vegetarian, and serve salads on the day you eat. That won't work.
We would meet after lunch and then just like nothing that was anything liquid would be okay, or just
We do nothing passes your lips, no water, no anything. After lunch, from one day through the next day until morning the one after. But on the meals that we do make, it's always mac and cheese. Greasy, fried mac and cheese. You gotta see what it does is it's like a toilet plunger in your central channel. So the lung goes up during the fasting. Everybody gets a friggin' case of lung. And then you drop it down with really heavy but vegetarian, no roots, no potatoes on the eating day. So it's gotta be greasy, intense food. So if you do it, please don't serve a light lunch. Stir-fry vegetables. Not unless you put an awful lot of grease in there. We do a form of Tibetan mochi, like dumplings, little solid, little pellet dumplings. And we make this brown butter, brown sugar, and cheese sauce that they swim in. No, they're called bu. Bu means bugs, because they're the shape of the little dumplings. Look like little snails, but really solid. Yes. Am I?
Thank you.
I was wondering how to consider about which part can help you develop like your loving kindness for there's particular
Moonlight. Number 2. For sure. That is the one which is the manifestation of the essence of the Dhaka. She's very male aspect. That's why she's called Moonlight. You see, when we talk about male and female, we think of a polarity, whereas it's actually a unity. And each individual has to create that unity inside themselves, not specifically by joining with another. If you try to put another as your female aspect or as your male aspect without finding your own, well, somebody's got to die first, then what? You know those old men that just can't live without their wife? You ever see those? Or the women who lose their husband and don't even know how to balance a checkbook? Don't go there. You're young. Don't go in that direction. Find your own feminine energy and your own masculine energy and rejoice in both of them. Your open, embracing nurturance and your creative doing self. Because you have both. But to bring forth the masculine side, which is the creative doing self of Bodhisattva, work with number 2, Moonlight Tara. Yes.
Would help with those in charge,
Yes.
not a boss.
It brings forth that energy in them. I believe that's number 2. Let me check my notes. It's either 2 or 3. Of course, my papers are by now out of order. I had asked the Lama giving the Wongs if I could have a copy of the text. He says, once I get it back in order, it'll take me a couple of weeks. After giving 4 days of Wongs from his texts and notes, he spreads worse than I do. Yeah, I think it is Moonlight. I'm just double checking my notes. It's 4. Ho, ho, ho. Because that's what I remember it as too, but knowing that I am elderly, yes. Yes, because she holds the water jug, and the water jug is the symbol of that. And she's active male principle, which is why, although not in this particular image, in many images she's shown standing. Active bodhisattva, hero. The bodhisattva is the universal hero. Actively acts for sentient beings, even though he knows, she knows, because it's not so much gender as yin and yang. It's the yang principle that even though it knows that all of this is just stories we're telling ourselves the way we perceive it, it also knows that it hurts. And so it acts to relieve the pain. So yes, that would be also number 2. Number 2 is really powerful. It's one of the ones I highly recommend working with. One of my favorites. Yes, last question. Number 8. Let me flip through. Yes, she releases the knots in your channels, causing spontaneous awakening. Her ability to destroy the maras, the demons of maras are demons of illusion. It is said that before the Buddha was enlightened, in front of him danced all of Mara's sons threateningly and all of Mara's daughters seductively, and he neither fled nor grabbed. So these demons are, to some extent, caught in your channels. They're your own demons, your own grabbiness, your own fears, your own hopes, your own timidities. And this Tara releases those knots to cause a spontaneous awakening. The way we perceive things is caused by our karmic knots. You see me as whatever you see me as, which is probably going to vary from a lot of people in this room. Anywhere from some idiot that I went and decided to make a retreat with, and so now I'm committed, to the essence of all Buddhas of the 4 times, or probably what you see me as is something, in between those 2 extremes. That's your karma. That's your vision. I am none of those things. And I'm not who you think I am. Regardless of what you are thinking, it's a thought. It's made of the same thing as all of them. All thoughts without exception arise in mind and dissolve in mind. They have never been anything other than mind. So the knots, as your chi moves over the knots in your channels, it plays a tune, and the tune is your reality. She unties the knots to smooth your reality and pacify your own demons. Powerful, ain't it? It's 1:00. When we come back this afternoon, you're going to lead us singing some of the tunes that you found? And I think I'm picking up some images for you, or someone is at Kinko's, which is a different set of images than these, that Zongsar Khyentse Rinpoche sponsored. They're painted in the Indian rather than the Tibetan style. But as Westerners, that's a little bit closer to a Western style of painting. I thought you'd enjoy them. Now the translation, is that got a translation with it?
Yes, the titles are a little different.
Yeah, translations are funny. I don't particularly like that translation, but I don't like any of the translations, I think, in Tibetan, so I just do it in Tibetan.
And it's going to be just the images with the numbers.
Okay, perfect. So you can just have those as a take-home. You can add them to this paper that you've received. Because I'm always insistent on having the Tibetan printed out. So, a pause for lunch. Why don't you run your favorite mantra from all of this over lunchtime? Play with it. Tara is, of all things, playful and humorous. It's not heavy. Fierce, intense, but not heavy. Gewandi Nur Dudag Chi Chi Sala Gopashu. Have we got a drum? Here at the center, do we have a drum for ceremony? No, a drum. Dong, dong, dong. Oh. If it wouldn't be difficult, it would be nice to have one with somebody keeping rhythm with the chant. That's kind of traditional.
I can bring a drum.
Okay.
It's not like a big drum set.
No, just a drum.
I'm just going to bring it. Bring your guitar.
You can. Okay. Playful. Let's go eat.